we'll see that the average return in those periods, that red dot areas, was 40% plus. So that means a 1 month of 40% plus would be from today's 100K, 140 in February. And well, since I expect multiple months of red dots, at least three times 40% would bring us from 100K to 270K, which is about here somewhere. This is the 300K line. So that's the absolute minimum Bitcoin price that I expect in 2025, 270,000. Now, if we look at 4 months of 40%, that would bring the current 100K to $380,000. And 5 months would even bring it to $530,000. So that's above this dotted line.
Bitcoin's first monthly close above $100,000 marks the beginning of a pivotal phase in its bull cycle. While some investors may feel underwhelmed by the current price action, historical patterns suggest that Bitcoin is on the verge of an explosive rally. PlanB's stock-to-flow model, combined with RSI trends, the 200-week moving average, and realized price data all point toward a significant price surge in 2025. With projections ranging from $270,000 to $530,000, PlanB urges investors to prepare for multiple months of 40% plus gains, an outcome that many market participants still find hard to believe. As Bitcoin enters its parabolic phase, the coming months could bring unprecedented price action, reshaping market expectations and reinforcing Bitcoin's status as the world's premier store of value.
Please take a little time to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more videos like this. You can also check out our other videos on cryptocurrencies and the overall digital asset space and drop your comments and observations in the comments section below. Everything you do helps with the YouTube algorithm and immensely contributes to the channel's growth. Thanks and enjoy the video.
Bitcoin price. We have a new monthly close all-time high in Bitcoin. It's $102,000. Not only is it a new monthly close, it's also the first monthly close above 100K. So I know it feels a bit disappointing, and that we should be higher with Trump and the ETF inflow, MicroStrategy and all that. It feels a bit delayed, but I guess we need a little bit of patience, because as we discussed in last videos, new all-time highs, which are basically the red dots, it's RSI, we'll come back to that in a minute, but the new all-time highs are clustered. So once there is an all-time high, it's very likely there will be another all-time high, and you can see that very clearly from this chart. So I expect a lot more all-time highs this year. And this is exactly, by the way, why I prefer the stock-to-flow model over, for example, the power law model. The clustered, non-linear jumps are what defines the price of Bitcoin. And it's not gradually over time. It's especially those short periods of time where the Bitcoin jumps to the next level. And it's also the basis for my stock-to-flow trading rule that says that all the Bitcoin gains are 6 months before the halving until 18 months after the halving. Every halving, it's the same pattern. And well, up till now, it also holds for this 2024 halving. So if we talk about colors, look at the RSI, the Relative Strength Index. It's 76 right now. Orange, 76 is above 50, so it's an uptrend from 14 months, right? It's Relative Strength Index is calculated over a certain period. It's 14 months. So there is a uptrend, not as steep as a red period would be, with RSIs of 80 and higher. RSI is 76, so it's a relatively okay uptrend, but not the FOMO part. The orange is very comparable to the end of 2020, or even more to the beginning of 2017. So we had orange, yellow, orange. Same here, orange, yellow, orange. Or even if we compare to 2013, the orange was the start of this, well, cluster of all-time highs, if you will, cluster of RSIs of 80 or higher. And I expect many months this year in 2025 with an RSI of 80 or higher. In fact, to be specific, I expect at least 3, possibly 4 or 5 months of red dots, which means an RSI of 80 and higher. Now, what's very interesting, if we look historically at those points where the RSI was 80 or higher, then we'll see that the average return in those periods, in that red dot areas, was 40% plus. So that means a 1 month of 40% plus would be from today's 100K, 140 in February. And, well, since I expect multiple months of red dots, at least 3 times 40% would bring us from 100K to 270K, which is about here somewhere. This is the 300K line. So that's the absolute minimum Bitcoin price that I expect in 2025, 270,000. Now, if we look at 4 months of 40%, that would bring the current 100K to $380,000, and 5 months would even bring it to $530,000. So that's above this dotted line. So we'll see what happens. These numbers, the 270, 380, and $530,000 Bitcoin, are much higher than what most people expect. In fact, today's poll on Twitter, on X, shows that 3 out of 4 people can't even imagine one single plus 40% monthly move, because they haven't been in those periods. They don't know what it is. They think that's a thing of the past and it can't happen in the future. What I think, it will most certainly happen again. Very interesting to see.
Another critical indicator PlanB examines is the 200-week moving average, black line, which currently stands at $44,000, reflecting a steady upward trajectory. He expects this metric to accelerate its growth in the coming months, mirroring past cycles in 2013, 2017, and 2020-2021. Additionally, the 2-year realized price, gray line, which represents the average cost basis of Bitcoin buyers over the last 2 years, has risen to $74,000, up from $71,000 in December. This metric's steady increase signals strong on-chain demand and supports the ongoing bull market thesis. However, PlanB anticipates that the realized price should ideally increase by 10 to 20% per month, meaning Bitcoin's price must climb significantly to match historical patterns.
200-week moving average, the black line, it's at 44 right now, up 1,000K from last month, from December, and in my opinion, that slow increase will go faster next couple of months. So I think the black line, the moving average, will curve upwards like it did in 2020, 21, 2017, and here in 2013. So I think this black line will curve upwards. Then realized price, the gray line. It's the cost price of the buyers of the last 2 years, right? Here's a 2 years realized price. Cost price of the on-chain buyers last 2 years. It is $74,000, up from 71 in December. And by the way, the total realized price of all the on-chain buyers ever is 43,000. So that's same level, comparable level to the 200-week moving average. But what we see is that the realized prices are increasing about 5% each month. That's good. That's a bull market thing, but it's less than I expected. I expect 10% or 20% increases in realized prices this year. So that means that prices have to go up considerably to make that happen. Now, for the stock to flow, it predicts this average price of about $500,000 for the halving period 2024 to 2028. With a standard deviation, of course, it will not be exactly 500,000. So the standard deviation is 2 times that, 1 million, or divided by 250K. And mind you, most other models, for example, the Power Law model, expect much lower prices. They expect something like we go from the current 100,000 to a 200,000 top this year, and then we crash back to below 100K. So that's much lower than even the lower band of the stock to flow model of 250K, and also lower than the 270,000 that we talked about based on 40% increases this year. 3 red dots, 3 RSI months of 80 plus. So very interesting to see what happens next.
PlanB reaffirms his stock-to-flow model's predictive power, projecting an average Bitcoin price of $500,000 for the 2024-2028 halving period. Given the standard deviation of the model, Bitcoin's price could range between $250,000 and $100,000 during this time frame. In contrast, other models, such as the Power Law model, predict a much lower price trajectory. These models suggest that Bitcoin could peak at $200,000 in 2025 before crashing back below $100,000, a scenario that is far below even the lower bound of the stock-to-flow model.